Hello everybody and welcome back again to Let's Play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I think it's time to finally continue with our main mission today. So we need to go to Alrekstad. However, before I do that, there's two more things that I would like to finish before. As you can see, I have been doing a little bit of off-camera work again. I'm only missing one piece of wealth and one mystery. And when I came over here to pick up the final piece of wealth, Ava made like a comment about this being her home, like the place where she grew up. So I thought, you know what, maybe it's interesting enough to do this place on camera. There might be something going on here, so I would like to record it and maybe include it in the episode. And after that, we can take care of the final mystery, which is actually over here on this island. So we can finish off that as well. And then we will continue all the way over here to Alrekstad. And yeah, apparently they're using like runes to mark some of the places. Specifically the ones that are yet to be discovered. I've actually been wondering what runes they're using for this game. I mean, in God of War, they used the Elder Furtherk, but if they want to be chronologically correct, then I guess they would have to use the Younger Furtherk for this game. Let me have a look at this. Yep, they're using the Younger Furtherk. Which, honestly, is a bit of a pity, because I find the Younger Furtherk harder to read. I mean, it's historically correct. In the 9th century, they would have used the Younger Furtherk in this region. But it's a little bit harder to read because it has less runes than the Elder Furtherk. And now you may say, well, isn't that great because it's less runes to memorize? But yeah, that's not really the problem. The runes haven't really changed all that much. They are very similar to the Elder Furtherk. But while they got rid of some of the runes, the Younger Furtherk has only 16 runes, and the Elder one has, I don't know, 22, 24, so a lot more. They didn't get rid of the different sounds represented by them. Instead, they just use one rune for different sounds, which makes the text a lot harder to read. Specifically, they kind of merged the voiced and unvoiced versions of consonants together. So, for example, p and b, or t and d, which all had like separate runes in the Elder Furtherk, now only get one. One for p and b, one for t and d, and so on. And some of the vowels got merged as well. So it's always a little bit of guesswork to fully read the Younger Furtherk inscriptions, because you're not quite sure if a rune is supposed to be a p or a b, for example. But the reason that I know that this is the Younger Furtherk is specifically because of this rune over here, because this one doesn't exist in this form in the Elder Furtherk. It's called ur, and it basically represents the r sound that you hear at the end of a lot of Old Norse words, like in seidr or draugr and so on. It's also a little bit confusing because, as you can see, we also have like another rune over here that is basically an R, but it's slightly different. It has a slightly different phonetic quality than the one at the end of a word. So this is a R, and this is more like a R. I can't really pronounce it properly, but it's supposed to be different. And in the Elder Furtherk, this one was actually like upside down, and it was called Algis, and it represented the Z sound at the end of Algis. You may have noticed when in God of War I was talking a little bit about like etymologies, specifically like Proto-Germanic origins. A lot of Proto-Germanic words end with the sound Z, like Algis, for example, or a lot of the names of other runes, for example, Hagalas, which means hail, Dagas, which means day, or Tiwas, for example. Odin used to be Wodanas, so you have a lot of these nouns that end in the letter Z in Proto-Germanic. And over time, this final Z, either it got dropped in some Germanic languages, or in case of Old North, it changed into that R sound, which we can see here. So the Algis rune was no longer representing the Z, but the R, meaning something like Seder would have been Seidas in Proto-Germanic, and Droger would have been Drogas in Proto-Germanic, and so on. So that kind of explains why that rune has changed, because the sound also changed from Z to R. And that explains that very common R at the end of Old North words. We can go even further back, because the origin of this ending is, of course, again, Proto-Indo-European. And in Proto-Indo-European, the ending os, from which it comes, was basically an ending that could turn like verbs and adjectives into nouns. And that's why it's so common. And yes, the Proto-Germanic as ending that you hear in a lot of these words is essentially the same as the common Latin word ending us. I mean, if you learned Latin, you know that in Latin, nouns will only end in a very finite number of endings, and us is a very common one. And it all goes back to that Proto-Germanic ending os, which was, a suffix to turn verbs and adjectives into nouns. I'm actually trying to think of some examples that would work both in Germanic and Latin. Well, actually, I already mentioned one, Tiwas. So the equivalent to Tiwas in Latin would be Deus, which means God, and it goes back to Proto-Germanic Deus, which probably was a derivation from the verb to be bright or to shine. So it basically means the shining one or the bright one, and it was most likely like a name for the sky, specifically the daylight sky and the associated deity. So in Proto-Germanic, as a proper noun, it refers to a specific god, and in Latin, Deus, it basically turned into the generic name for any kind of god. And in Old North, it's obviously Tyr. So again, we have the R at the end instead of the Z. Or another example would be Proto-Indo-European perhos, which is a derivation from the verb per, meaning to dig. So it means digger, and it's a name for piglet. And perhos in Latin has turned into porcos, still meaning piglet. And then via Old French, this has then ended up in English as pork. And if you go down the Germanic route, it turned into Proto-Germanic farhas, still meaning piglet. And that, for example, is the root of the modern German word ferkel, still meaning piglet. And I think in English you also have the word farrow, which means to give birth to pigs, which comes from that word. And that's why I think etymologies are so fascinating, because at first glance you probably wouldn't think that words like pork and farrow are related, but they do go back to the same origin. They just took a very different route to get to English. One took the Germanic route, and one took the Latin route via Old French and then back to English. But I digress a lot. But yeah, this is the younger Förderk, and it's a little bit different than the elder one. But yeah, now let's go and check out this place, which apparently used to be her home village. mean, there's clearly some stuff going on here. Something unusual.
This is where father and mother left this world. I would have died with them in dishonor, if not for Sigurd.
Okay, so I was about to say, is this your father's helmet? But it can't be, because we saw her father's helmet at that cellar. The snake guy. Anyway, what else can we find here? It looks like something inside this building.
Mother, if I had followed your orders, would you have lived? Would you and father have triumphed?
You shouldn't start asking these questions. But yeah, I remember that. She used the sword on the window and it got stuck there. So apparently this place has been abandoned after that raid and no one returned. Because everyone was dead, presumably. But okay, can we get inside this big hall? Because it seems that there's something in here? Or is it maybe behind here? Let's check out all the sites for a potential entrance. Okay, well, there's not an obvious way inside. Maybe I have to climb up. Let's do it.
I loved climbing up here. Made me feel as high as a raven.
Well, now we know why she's so good at climbing. She's been doing that ever since she was a child. Okay. Basically has the same kind of opening as the previous place that we've been to. Well, nature certainly took over this place again.
Mother used to sing me to sleep by this hearth. Her voice made me feel safe. I have not felt safe since then. Not really. I still remember the smell of the feast, the anticipation of a dinner I never got to eat.
Yeah, I still remember it too, but it was not quite as long ago for me, to be fair. Okay, well, I mean, coming here certainly was interesting. Oh, can I sit down on the throne?
I spilled ink on this throne. The stain is still there, in the furs after all these years. Father was furious.
Well, guess the king wasn't too angry with you though, because you're still around. Yeah, I guess that is all we can do here. Is there like a better way out? Can I open like a door or do I have to climb up again?
This room, my old bed, it felt much larger when I was young. A lifetime ago, it seems.
You actually slept here? Interesting. This doesn't look like it would be a normal living room. But yeah, I do remember that this is basically where the game started. So I guess this is her living room. Okay, well, now I just have to find a way out of here. but it looks like I will have to climb up. Because I'm not seeing any other way. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. This doesn't really get me all the way up, though. I may have to go over here. Okay. This looks more like it. I mean, we have like a second floor in this place, apparently, but I'm not seeing anything of interest down here. Okay, this is the opening. Okay, here we go. We made it outside. And that was a little bit too high. But okay, I guess now I will just try to pick up that wealth over here. And I'm guessing I may have to find that entrance. Although it seems to be somewhere below me. Okay, is this it? Ah.
When Father first showed me this passage, I was so excited. I won every game of hide and fetch after that.
Well, apparently Jotve and his clan didn't find this because they clearly would have looted this if they had. Guess it was well hidden behind this giant stone. Yep, they totally missed like the main loot here.
Gems. Precious things. How did Kjotve's dogs miss this?
Apparently they're not very smart. Okay, looks like that's all. And yeah, the wealth is complete. Nice. Which means I will now take my boat and we will sail towards that final mystery in this region. Also, if I find any cloudberries to replenish my health, that would be nice. But they're always surprisingly hard to find when you actually need them. And sometimes I can't really tell them apart from other shrubbery. Okay, whatever. Let's just get to the boat and sail on.
Eivor! Kohtas hjá þig.
Let's leave this place behind. No time for nostalgia. Let's look ahead and not behind, right? Yeah, I guess I'm just going to put my marker right on the mystery. And here we go.
Run up the sail!
Okay, it seems to be somewhere near the coast. So again, I will probably just park my boat near the coast and swim over there. Okay.
Hush now.
You can wait here for me while I investigate this place. Okay, we have some kind of settlement here. Ah, here we go, cloudberries.
Welcome, traveler, to
our lush and fertile shores.
I don't see anything too lush around here, to be honest.
I did not expect to find anyone on this island.
And why not? This is England, home to a nation of Saxons and Danes. Our shores are open for trade.
England. It is not what I expected.
Many from Norway find the trip dizzying, but fortunately you have me to guide you. I know the land better than my own son.
Are you all right?
My son, nesting with the Picts north of Hadrian's Wall. Who knows what schemes they're hatching, or the sort of people they might send to spy on me.
You said something about a tour.
Of course, a tour. Follow me. This is the city of London, first built by the Romans during ancient times. We have not seen builders like that since.
I guess they had to work with what they had.
I gotta say, London is rather underwhelming. Doesn't really live up to its promises. I guess this guy is either confused or he's a con man and he's trying to trick me into something, but at the moment I'm going with confused.
These are the Dover Cliffs, famous for their bluebirds.
Yeah, I think Eivor is unimpressed as well. But I mean, she's playing along for now, so... Either she wants to see where this is going, or she's just trying to be a good sport. Or is this supposed to be Stonehenge? Tell me that this is
Here is
Stonehenge.
Jorvik, the Dane city of trade. Keep this between us, but King Alfred has a plan for Jorvik.
I see.
Okay, it's not. It would have been funny if he had said, okay, this over here is Stonehenge, the famous stone circle.
This is Hadrian's Wall, our last line of defense against the barbarous Picts.
It is a line of swords.
Yeah, this line has seen better days as well. Also, it's kinda useless if it's not manned with soldiers and forts and so on. And I mean, at this point, the Romans have long left England, so the Hadrian's Wall would not have been much use anymore. Okay, what is this supposed to be?
At the end of our tour is Winchester, the heart of Wessex, where is King Alfred? Those honorless Picts, they have taken the king. We must seek them north of Hadrian's Wall. Where are you, my king?
I'm sure he's somewhere.
I don't dare to ask who or what the king is going to be.
Do not worry, my king. I am coming.
Yeah, I think he's confused and he's not trying to trick me into something. I mean, at first I thought he was trying to con some hapless travelers for, I don't know, paying him for the tour of Great England or whatever, but this is clearly not it. He's very fast though, I can barely keep up with him. Okay, where's your king? Is this the king?
My king!
Oh no.
What happened? Why won't you speak?
Who in hell's name are you? Why are you going through my things? Force balls, you found it. Why did you take it back? You set him off again.
Traitor! The king won't speak to me. You cut out his tongue.
He has no tongue.
Because you cut it out.
You are his son.
Do not feed this fantasy. His wits wither and become those of a babe. I took him here to ease his madness, but it grows worse. I try using reason or playing along, but he hears only what he wants to hear.
I see.
Only what he wants to hear. I have an idea that could help, if you let me. Old man, Your king is worn out from his ordeal. I can hear him speak very softly. He's praising you. He wants to thank...
Hising.
He wants to thank Hising for his loyalty to the crown.
What else does he say?
Well, we are basically feeding his fantasy now. Wake from your dream, the pigs surrender. I mean, if this is just like a mental condition of his, then I guess trying to wake him up from this is not really going to help. So maybe continuing this, but giving it like a good spin would be useful.
The Picts, terrified at word of your approach, will pledge themselves to the crown if you spare their lives.
They will?
And they agree to pay a daily tribute of food and other goods in exchange for free passage through your lands.
Oh, it is a good deal and greater news. Thank you. You may leave the king in my care now.
This will only lead to further delusion.
You'll know at least that he eats every day. And maybe someday, the fog will lift.
Forgive my ill will. I knew this would be a difficult end, but sometimes the weight bears down heavily.
There is courage and honor in what you do, and the gods know it. Good luck to you. Looks like England is united.
This has been fine, subjects. King Alfred is pleased.
The peace holds. For now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel this might not be a bad idea. Because at least this way you can kind of control what he's doing and he's not going to risk his life trying to fight the pigs or whatever. And I guess maybe his quote-unquote delusion is just because due to old age, so it's not going to go better anytime. So, I don't know. I really don't know what's the best solution here. I'm not a psychologist, but for practical reasons this might not be that bad. Anyway, what is this over here? A mother's wish, John. This will be my last winter. The Volva tells me so. When the earth reclaims my bones, you must come care for your father. He is still the man I married, but his mind is not well. I fear he will be sent to some hellish place if he dies this way. Please try to make his final days peaceful. Some say the gods decide where we go when we die, but I think this is how we live. Your reward will be great, Asa. Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of gave him peace, so I think it's not a bad solution, I hope. But okay, we finished the final mystery, and now we can continue our trip to Alrekstad. So let me just fast travel back to the boat. And then off to King Harald we go. Also, if I've seen this correctly, this region here is like really high in level. Suggested power 280. But I mean, the quest wants me to go to this place, so I guess it's going to be fine. There's no way I would be able to gain this much power this early in the game, right? Anyway, this is going to take a while. So I'm just going to sail, listen to a few songs, and I'll bring you back once I have arrived. Alright, we are approaching Alrekstad. Now, do we have like a good place to anchor our boat? I mean, we have numerous boats over here. And okay, here's like our anchor
Have you
spot.
ever seen so many ships docked at once?
Never, nor has there been a gathering of kings so large as this.
So this is basically where all the important people park their boats. Like their luxury cars. But okay, I guess I will maybe look around a little bit, but I would kind of like to continue with the actual quest. Since, you know, this area is so high in level, I don't really want to deal with any other stuff. Yeah, I mean, look at all of this. I can't really do any of these quests at the moment. So let's just go and find Sigurd and find out what we are supposed to do here. Okay, it's like somewhere over here, even though for some reason it doesn't show up on my compass. I wonder why that is. Sigurd, where are you? I guess he's just somewhere in this place and we don't know where exactly, so I have to look around to actually find him. Well, I mean, my guess is that he might be like in the meat hall, which is like the giant place over here. This one is significantly bigger than what we've seen earlier in other places. So I'm guessing this is like a really powerful king, huh? Do I need arrows? Well, apparently so. Okay, there's enemies, but the area is not restricted, so I guess I can just go through here. But they could potentially be hostile, probably, if I misbehave. Yeah, look at this place. I am impressed. But I can't just walk in here. Guess that would have been too easy. I mean, I see a lot of red people, but no trace of Sigurd so far. So where else could he be? Do we have like a tavern in this place? So maybe he's just taking a drink first. Let's see. I mean, this is like one of these drinking contests, but the drinking contest might be where the tavern is, I guess. And since it doesn't look like I can actually enter the meat hall, I guess any other place that serves meat might be worthwhile to look at. Oh, now I can see it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually mark the spot where he's supposed to be, huh? So yeah, this is slightly confusing. Yeah, once I get a little bit closer, it vanishes.
Think you can swim with the best?
Okay, you are the guy for the drinking contest.
We are strong, Ergi. Yes, strong with stink. Step closer, Sealface, and say that again. I said your stench is strong. That's your only strength. Your stench. I will feed your teeth.
Oh dear.
Your tongue back out.
They're going to have a fight. But yeah, it looks like this is a place I have to go, so I guess checking out the local tavern was the right instinct.
You have just won your heart's desire, Eivor. Yet by the look on your face, you have lost your will to live.
Gorm is here with the last of his men. Why does that troll dare to show his face?
Oh.
Leave it for another day. We are here under Harald's truce, and Gorm is too weak to try anything bold.
If you
He's
say
a seed
so.
stain on his father's trousers. I should wipe him from this world.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Not tonight, Eivor. Leave it.
And I'm not sure if we can trust Harald. I guess we will find out.
Basim, watch over this one, and see that she warms herself with drink. I will find my father and escort him to the Longhouse.
As you wish.
Yeah, Eivor does look very pissed.
Is Hytham well?
He will heal, but never fully recover.
Oh.
It is fortunate that you were able to succeed where he failed.
My resolve was strong.
When you slew Kjotve, did you see a sigil on him? Silver? The size of my palm, bearing the symbol of an ash tree?
Take it. Trade it for what you can.
I know where Gorm is camped. If you wish to see him without anyone the wiser, there is a trick I can teach you.
Already looking for another princess. All right, I'll bite. What do I do?
Use your cloak to obscure your face. Blend into the crowd. Divert attention. Hide in plain sight.
You want me to join your brotherhood? Is this how your brotherhood operates? This might be a little bit of a stretch to deduce from him trying to teach me a trick. But yeah, it is kind of how they operate. And I suppose it's not a very Viking way, you know. Not very honorable according to their code.
Is this how your brotherhood operates? You sneak around in the daylight, stabbing your victims where they stand.
Said like that, you make me blush. We are seekers of justice, shepherds of man's will. We work in the dark to serve the light.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose there's no shame in using deception when honor is at stake. And Gorm is a stain on that honor.
Well, I guess that's one way to look
Then
at it.
let's see what can be done to cleanse that stain. Give it a try.
In the end, you can justify anything, right? Also, if you're, like, outnumbered...
A few things you should know before you step into his camp.
Then sometimes deception is the only way.
Walking unseen through hostile territory is an exercise in subtlety.
And it's not like the Vikings didn't have their fair share of intrigue and deception, so we shouldn't put too much onto that whole honor thing.
Dismissed at a distance. Remain far from watchful eyes, and you will be invisible to them. Do not draw blade or hammer, for these and other sudden movements can break your disguise.
All right.
And in case I wasn't clear, you will need to put up your hood for the trick to work.
Hold B to wear your disguise. Huh. Okay, now we have the classic assassin's look.
In the camp ahead.
Enter Gorm's cabin. A cloak diminishes unwanted attention. Okay. Let's do it. But I mean, can I just walk in here without getting noticed? Distrust area. Oh well, this is very, very old school. This reminds me of, well, basically the first game. And it's been a long time ago since I played this.
What were you thinking? Drinking mead on an empty stomach?
You have to eat something before drinking that much.
How does that go? Feed before meat.
I have some roasted lamb on the spit. Are you coming?
Can, like, listen to them. But I mean, it probably doesn't hurt to be sneaky anyway. Or would sneaking be even more suspicious in this context? Alright, let's enter.
Evil!
You Arker shit! Take up your weapon and follow me beyond these walls. Let Odin's favor land where it may.
You dare not break the king's peace here. So fuck you and your god talk. What say you to that?
Nothing. My fists will speak for me.
You can beat me, but you will not kill me. Not under Harald's truce.
You are all subject to King Harald's truce.
Break his peace and you will be cast out of Alrekstad.
I will give you no trouble. You were shed into this world without honor, Gorm, and you will leave as a turd, dumped into hell's deepest ditch.
Keep crowing, Eivor. You only make yourself an easier target.
Don't
The Alding will have started.
let him provoke you.
We should find Sigurd.
Okay, the owl thing is getting underway. Which means we can now go there and listen to all the important people talk. But I may wanna... I actually did finish one of these drinking contests back in Stavanger. I will probably do these off camera because it's actually a lot easier to focus and concentrate on this. Maybe I will do some of them on camera, but they're not really that interesting. I will probably do some of the Orlok games on camera. I did finish the one in Stavanger already, and I got some more god favors or whatever they're called, so I have like better chances to win the next one. And yeah, we have one of these flying papers. Again, that's stuff that I can do off camera. Maybe I will check out the shop and we will leave the all thing for the next episode. I wonder if I can play Orlok in this place as well. So far I'm not seeing any kind of icon for that. Okay, looks like this is the general store.
Hello, friend. Come see my wares.
Let's see them. Well...
These are locally sourced.
They basically are the same than the previous shops, so nothing too interesting.
You be sure to always bring your stuff to me.
I thought such a, big and important place had maybe some more interesting wares, but...
You sure there isn't something else you wanted?
I don't think so. Not at the moment,
I have to
anyway.
go. See you soon.
Alright. So... yeah, I'm not seeing any place to play Orlok, but I guess it might be out of reach, so I can't see it yet. Although I do believe that these icons actually show up from pretty far away, so I don't know, maybe there just isn't any Orlok in this place. But whatever, I think I'm going to end the episode here, and we will check out the All thing in the next one. So, as always, thank you for watching, and see you again next time. Well, that was a rather dramatic way to remove your cloak. I'm very impressed.